Session review.
Do we have a long one for you this week? My lord, we went through a lot. There's just stuff I want to give to you all, but let's just get through it. So, first thing you guys all did is you enjoyed the Wisdom Eye a little bit. You guys had a fun time. You're like celebrating the peace trial, the arrest of Jeffrey Epstein, and then also Bunny was vomiting because they were a little uncomfortable about the Jeffrey Epstein situation. So then let's just get into what the party did. So Bunny and Crow Wrench started playing with tech decks. Bunny and Crow Wrench actually shared this to kind of started playing together, and they were like using their Nen to make them like do crazy tricks. So pretty fun, cool little thing. Zen Lee drinks some of Inu's Anapama, his Japanese delicacy, and then he like explains to everyone that he's transgender, which is this big little joke because Inu is trying to explain how he isn't actually Japanese, but he feel like he is Japanese. So there's kind of a little funny back and forth as that goes, but he's transracial now is the official term for Inu Tawagoto's character, which even the Wizard King knows. Diogen walks down the stairs we have here to a lower area, goes into a pool, finds a fish, talks to the fish, and then the fish is like, "Yo, can I go up the stairs?" And Diogen's like, "Sure," and grabs a bucket and brings the fish up the stairs. And when he gets to the top of the stairs, he puts the fish over his head and he just proclaims "fish" as he looks at Cruel Wrench. So obviously, after this, the Wizard King is like, what the fuck's going on? Because I personally was wondering what the fuck is going on. So a little bit of railroading here as the Wizard King interjects, and he's like, "What do you guys want to do next?" And he also comes in. He's kind of like, "So just so you know, Jaron Cross, this guy at the bottom right, the one that took the Neuron Star, he still has the Neuron Star. He's still at large. We have not found him." But he has not tried to deliver to the Heart Kingdom yet, so time's of the essence, but it's not the most stressful time. He also tells the party that there's a fundraising at the College of Summerhold. He'd love them to go, and he tries to motivate them however he can. He believes that having the party at the College of Summerhold and having this real big like expression of who they are will motivate the students to work harder and continue their studies, but will also help calm the fears of the public as these tensions are kind of rising. So the party kind of just begs for incentives, even though Clover Kingdom kind of gives them everything they want. I'm just going all blast passive aggressive on this slide, but eventually the party goes through. Diogen opens up a portal to go where else than a bathroom. He picks a soul fraternity in the College of Summerhold, the Ashbound, and Inu is the first one to go into the portal, and he gets terrified as the portal closes behind him, as Cruel Wrench and Diogen are playing a joke on him, but this ends quickly. The rest of the party go through. Bunny is immediately disgusted by this bathroom. It smells terrible. It has not been cleaned. It is a basement bathroom. The party bathroom, as Diogen wants to point out. So eventually Diogen walks upstairs, pretty much proclaims, "The party is here. You all don't know anything about us. We are the best. Give us a drink." And they all know who they are. They saw the live stream. Now you guys are all apparent for most people who you are. There's no need to introduce yourselves too much. So they're all like, "Holy shit." Olger the Ironclad, the guy on the right here, is who you see first. He's like, "Listen, whatever you guys need." Diogen finds a beer boy and writes Diogen on him to denote that he is his, and that guy gets beer for everyone and will continue to get beer for everyone throughout the day. Um, and Olgor is pretty much like, "Whatever you guys need, we'll give it to you." So Inu, um, Diogen, Cruel Wrench, and Bunny go upstairs, start playing some Smash, a video game. Inu talks a little bit of Olgor. I don't know 100% remember what they chatted about, but eventually Karlak comes in, Karlak being a woman, although she is the leader of this male-only fraternity. No one asked any questions about that. She is pretty much like, "Hey, love to meet you all. Could you all please stick here for a party?" Because Karlak, as the president knows, having this party here would be having your party there would be one of the sickest, events that this fraternity would ever throw. So she tries to convince you all, but then you all kind of end up going outside. So you guys just kind of walk outside. You don't really want to deal with it. Bunny's, I think, is a little stressed, and the rest of you kind of follow Bunny outside as Bunny's just trying to get like a lay of the land, essentially. Bunny's just trying to understand like what is college. Bunny has this whole monologue where they just go through like, so you like drink and there's like rooms because Diogenes keeps talking about how his rooms are the bathroom and his rooms are the rooms upstairs where he took philosophy, and like the room where everyone gets high, and like Bunny is so confused. She asks some people outside that kind of explain, and then Bunny's like, so you learn things here. Kind of starts getting college. I give some heroic inspiration because I thought it was hilarious. But no one rolls an investigate or a perception high enough to see that Ilaria Thistlebloom, this one on the left here, is running up to the party. So Laria is a vlogger. She's an influencer, and she starts immediately flirting with Inu and trying to get him to like share stories with the party. Inu's the only one that really talks to her phone or really like gets in there. Although the chat is talking about Diogen and saying that she should get with him, as well as Diogen starts running around crazy trying to look for chat. But as this goes, she kind of explains that she's from a long away grove called the Farm, and she wants to learn how to cultivate, to bring prosperity to her grove, but also become strong to protect her grove. That's kind of her goal. Karlak then butts in and it's pretty much like, hey, so the peace accords were dope, so we should party, right? Finally, everyone agrees, and the party immediately, Diogen, Cruel Wrench, and Bunny are all go. Diogen's one goes, I want a stage. Cruel Wrench is like, I want to set up a gambling ring, and Bunny's like, I want to joust. So this is more or less after I brought up the jousting idea, but you guys all ran with it. So you all go get ready for this big jousting party you're gonna throw. Inu says that he wants to go talk to Headmaster Eldon. None of you all care. So Inu goes alone. So we go on a solo quest by Inu. He goes to find Headmaster Eldwin. He ends up running into Mirik. He is this sorcerer on the right. He's a lizard person. None of you guys have met him yet, but just to give you a little bit, he essentially is from the Spade Kingdom, which is a kingdom just ravaged with magical beasts, large, hard to destroy magical beasts. He spent a lot of his time destroying them as he's a sorcerer. He innately was born with this power, but there are many that he still wants to beat, and he has not been able to do it yet. So feel free to take his class to learn more. Okay. Inu hates partying and is a nerd is the name of this slide, but the goal of this slide is to communicate to you all what can be done at the College of Summerhold. Okay, so you all can take classes. Eldon's going to talk. There's class on lore from just our story. If you want to learn more about Japan, demons, magical beasts, I ain't at it, but gods. We haven't really gotten into much gods besides Toby, but you could. Now they also have combat classes, spell casting. If you want to learn new spells or you don't have a spell, feel free to go here. If you want to just learn a new spell, feel free to take a class. That could be how you spend this time. Martial skills. If you want to learn action surge when you don't have it, I'm not sure. Something like that. We can definitely talk about it. And then class features. Okay, so I'm allowing you guys to like get things that without leveling up. So generally like a rogue would get sneak attack at level 1, and I'm stating that you can get sneak attack for free. No level required to be put into rogue. You just have to spend your time at college to do it. So a lot of things like that you can look at, sneak attack, paladin smites. I'll allow you to get a smite. Like Eno doesn't have smites, I'll allow him to get a smite. Things like that. These are ways that you could try to get a little bit more damage and use these ways in interesting ways. I just want you guys to be able to branch out a little bit without having to fully multi-class. I'm just giving you guys infinite power at this point. I honestly, magic items are going to become less, but college is something I had planned for a while. But then also there's like lifestyle. You could take classes on cooking, brewing, and like armory, like making weapons, maintaining your weapons, things like that. So it's up to you. Then Eldon reiterates there's 2 events that Eldon wants you to go to. There's a student valorization at the Valorbane Arena where you guys could fight in the Valorbane Arena. 2v2, and also I have another plan for maybe a nice little 4v4 event that won't be pure combat. It'll be like a test drive of the basketball we plan to do at the end of the Act 2. And then also there's the annual fundraising event. So he kind of reiterates this to Inu, and then he's like, hey, come back here tomorrow morning. Merlin and Heimerdinger want to talk to y'all before you guys start on your college experiences. So that's where that's going to go. Finally, the party's party. You guys have a party. Diogen gets up on the mic, does insane punk rock, starts going crazy, getting everyone hyped up. Cruel Wrench is convincing everyone that Olger is going to beat Bunny, so they should bet on Olger. He does, and then he has Diogen bet big on Bunny, and then Bunny suits up, prepares this match, goes in right as Diogen says, "Open the pit!" Opens up this huge pit, all these people dancing, partying, open up, and then two horses come together, joust. Bunny cleanly beats Olger, winning the party 650 gold pieces based on Cruel Wrench running the gambling ring. And then finally, Inu kind of shows up at the beginning of this party, but Inu kind of had his talking time, so let's just quickly go through it. Inu texts Nami, pretty much just says what's going on, and then leaves her on red after that. Um, and then Inu goes up against Karlak, and he beats her once, goes and like throws some shade in Ilaria's live stream. Karlak gets pissed. Karlak wants to go again. Goes again, still beats him. And then after that, I don't really remember where we ended. I just assume you guys rejoiced and partied throughout the night. But then I did want to say that we almost wanted to get to this session, but we did not. Bunny will have their talk with Toby next time. This was requested 2 sessions ago. I want it to happen. We also have that thing where like eventually you guys need to go to PepsiCo's place, but we can do that whenever. But Cock with Toby would be good. So, okay, that was a lot to get through, a lot of slides. But very excited to see you guys whenever we plan it for next.